This is Sarah Broninger of the New Horizons Academy. This is a series of videos on demonstrating math concepts. This video is on factoring trinomials.
A trinomial is simply a three-part number. Factoring a trinomial means finding the two things that you can multiply that gets you an answer of this three-part number. You can't factor a trinomial into two binomials until you've learned to multiply binomials. So if this is not easy for you, go back to an earlier video. When you multiply two binomials, you're going to get a trinomial as an answer. 3x, 2x, plus 6. If you've done enough of these, and I mean literally hundreds of these, you'll recognize a pattern. And the pattern is that only x times x could get you x squared. Well, that means that this has to be x times x. And only a positive times a positive gets you a positive, and put together gets you a positive, so this must be positive. This times this gets you that. So now we know that this and this multiplied have to equal 6. So this could be 1 and 6, or this could be 2 and 3. You also see that this plus this gets you 5. So now we know that this plus this will have to equal 5, and this equals 7. So these are our two numbers, 2 and 3. All you're doing when you take a trinomial and turn it into two binomials is thinking this backwards. So you cannot skip having done hundreds of these. You cannot skip thinking this even if you don't write it. You must think that this times this gets you 6, and this plus this gets you 5, and this times this gets you x squared. And if you think this backwards, this becomes easy, and I'll give you another example. I know that this times this must equal x squared, so this times this must be x and x. I'm dealing with all positives right now, and I know that this times this must be 12, so that could be 1 times 12, 2 times 6, or 3 times 4. I know that this plus this must be 7. Well, the only way I can get 7 out of these numbers is 3 and 4. So my answer must be x plus 3 and x times 4 plus 4, which I'll prove. X plus 3, x plus 4, x squared, 3x, 4x, 12. The best way to do these is to practice them and prove it, and prove every one. After a while you won't have to prove it, but you'll see it in your head even when you don't prove it. And certainly any one of these you get wrong, proof. Now I'll do one with negative numbers. Okay. I know that this times this must be x squared, and so it is x and x. I know that this times this has to get me a negative 6, so one of them must be positive and one of them must be negative. Again, I've got 1 and 6 and 2 and 3 as my only combinations. I know that if this is negative or positive and this is negative or positive, I'll never just get 1, so it can't be that. It has to be 2 and 3. But which one is negative? I end up with negative 1, so it has to be negative 3, positive 2. And I'll prove it. X times x, x squared, x times 2, 2x, negative 3 times x, negative 3x, negative 3 times 2, negative 6.